Hi, fifth graders. I'm Tran, and this is lesson 8. In today's lesson, we're going to be going over place values in decimals, rounding decimals, converting fractions to decimals, and converting decimals to fractions. So for the first page, we're going to be placing values in decimals. So in a general rule of thumb, when we have decimals, let's see, we're going to have our decimal point here, and then the places go according like this. So the first one on just one on the right of the decimal place is the tenth place. The two digits away from the decimal place is the hundredth place. Oops. And three decimal points away from the on the right of the decimal point is the thousandth place. So for number one, we are asked in 401.64, which digit is the tenth place? So I'm just gonna write this out, this number, just to make it bigger. And if we look at the right of this decimal place, we're looking at the tens place. And we see that the tens place here is only 1. So we just go one number on the right, and it is 6. So for number 1, 6 is in the tenth place. Now for number 4, we are being asked in 872.983, in which place is the 3 in? So we're looking at this 3. So we're going to the right 1, 2, 3 times for our 3. And if we look up here, we see that when we go 3 to the right, it is in the thousands place. So for number 4, we can say that 3 is in the thousands place. For number 7, it's a big number, but it's still the same concept. So we have 7,943.6407. So we look at the thousands place, which is 3 digits on the right. So we go 1, 2, 3, and we see that the 0 is in the thousands place. So for number 7, it's going to be 0. For the second page, we're going to be rounding decimals to the indicated place value. So for number 1, we have 0.511, and we're rounding it to the nearest hundredth. So first, we need to find out which number is in the hundreds place. So the hundreds place is 2 digits on the right of the decimal place. So that'll be 1, 2. So this 1 is in the hundreds place. And so now we can look at the number on the right of the hundreds place. And the general rule of thumb is that if the number on the right is 1 to 4, we round down. And if it is 5 to 9, then we round up. Actually, this is actually 0 to 4, because if it's 0, we can also round down to 0. So we see that the number on the right is 1, which is between 0 and 4. So we're going to be rounding down. So for number 1, our answer will be 0.510, because we're just staying rounding down. For number 4, we have the number 0.38923, and we're rounding to the nearest thousand. So the nearest thousand is, we need to see which number is in the thousands place to begin with. So we look 1, 2, 3, and this 9 is in the thousands place. So now we can look at the number to the right of 9, and it is 2. And 2 is between 0 and 4, so we're going to be rounding down. So for number 4, our answer is 0.38, and since we're rounding down, the 9 stays the same. So 0.389. Now for number 8, we have 3.9328, and we're rounding to the nearest thousand, which is 3 digits away from the decimal place. So we're going 1, 2, 3, and we see that it's a 2. So now we can look at the number on the right. And the number on the right is an 8. And an 8 is between 5 and 9, so we can actually round up. So one number above 2 is 3. So our final answer for number 8 is 3.933. Okay. For the next page, we are converting fractions to decimals. So there are many methods to do this, but the way I'll be teaching it is, so for number 1, we have 3 out of 10, and we're gonna convert it so the fraction is out of 100. So in order to make it out of 100, we need to multiply it by 10, each the top and bottom by 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. So we need to do 3 times 10, which is 30. So now we have 30 out of 100. So we can take the number on the top now that it's out of 100. So we put a 0 because none of these numbers are greater than 1. So it's a 0 point and then a decimal. And then we're gonna write this number 30. So for number 1, our answer is 0.30. Now for number 4, it's already in out of 100. So what we need to do is write the 0 and decimal again. But we can't write the 7 here because if we wrote 7 here, then this would mean that it is 70 out of 100. But in this case, it is not 70, it's actually a 7. So when we have a single digit number out of 100, we need to place a 0 as a placeholder, and then we can write the number. So for number 4, our answer would be 0.07. For number 7, we have 2 out of 25, and in order to get it out of 100, we need to multiply it by 4. So for on the top, in order we multiply 2 times 4, which gives us 8. So now we can take this number now that it's out of 100. So we put a 0 and a decimal, and then since it's a single digit number, we have to put a 0 as a placeholder, and then we can put the 8. So for number 7, our answer is 0.08. For the last page, we're going to be converting decimals to fractions. So for number 1, we have the number 0.8, and we see that this 8 is in the tens place, so we can convert it to a fraction out of 10. And since it's just an 8, we're just going to write 8 out of 10. So 8 out of 10 is equal to 0.8. But we're not done yet because we can actually simplify this fraction more by dividing each number by 2. So if we do 8 divided by 2, we get 4. And if we get 10 divided by 2, we get 5. And now we can't simplify this fraction any further. So our answer for number 1 is 4 over 5. For number 4, we have the fraction 0.31. So we see that our final digit is in the hundreds place. So we can make this fraction out of 100. And now we're just going to write the number down, which is 31. And we can check if we can simplify this further. And we can't divide it by any number. So for number 4, our final answer is 31 out of 100. For number 8, we have 0.88, and yet once again we see that the final digit is in the hundreds place. So we can write the fraction out of 100, and we just write the number 88. So now what we need to do is check if we can simplify this, and we actually are able to simplify it by dividing each number by 4. So if we do 88 divided by 4, we get 22. And if we divide 100 by 4, we get 25. So our final answer for number 8 is 22 over 25. That's all for this lesson, and I hope you found this helpful.